In a quiet neighborhood in Egypt, there lived a small family in an old house. The father worked in the city and only came home on weekends. At home, the mother stayed with her 2 sons. The elder one was around 7 years old, and the younger was just 2. One afternoon, the 2 brothers were playing together in a room. The older one was keeping an eye on his little brother when something strange happened. A wooden chair, placed in the corner of the room, suddenly slid across the floor to the other side, all on its own. Startled and terrified, the elder son screamed and ran to call his mother. But when she came into the room, the chair was back in its place. She saw nothing unusual and brushed it off as the child's imagination. But he knew what he saw. A few days later, something even more disturbing occurred. The whole family was sitting together on the sofa, watching television. Suddenly, a loud bang came from inside one of the rooms. Then, from that very room, something dark and shadowy began to creep out. It wasn't human. It had the shape of a person, but its movement was unnatural. The children screamed, and the mother, frozen in fear, couldn't believe her eyes. The family tried to ignore the events, convincing themselves it might have been stress or exhaustion. But then came the mirror. In the parents' bedroom, there was an old, tall mirror, something that had been there since they moved in. One night, as they were getting ready for bed, they noticed something horrifying. A dark figure appeared inside the mirror, watching them, but it wasn't their reflection. It smiled, but the smile was twisted. Its eyes were empty. Whenever someone looked into the mirror after that, they felt paralyzed, like something was pulling their soul inward. Even the baby cried uncontrollably whenever near it. After that night, strange things happened constantly. Lights flickering, objects falling, whispers in the hallway. No one could stay in the house peacefully anymore. Eventually, the family had no choice. They packed up and left the house forever. To this day, whoever tries to live in that house claims to see shadows, hear whispers, and feel an evil presence following them. Locals say the house was cursed, and the thing in the mirror still waits for its next victims.